Yeah.
It's so good.
No, I'm really glad that we at least put up a good effort against you guys, even if we were injured, because like we gave you a better challenge than LA did in any of the previous three
Yeah.
seasons. Pardon?
They like literally they play like their general population. Like it's literally insane.
What do you mean by that?
Homeless.
Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Pacific Perspectives podcast. We have hit double digits. We've made it about 9 episodes further than all of you thought we would. Here we are. We're doing it again. I'm Nux Memes, as always, joined by Kyler Miyamoto, but we'll skip past him because we don't really want to talk about him. We're going to go straight to our special guest for the day, and it is none other than Avs insider Ian. Ian, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Ian. I run the Avs Insider Instagram account. I also own my own creative media company called Wraparound Media. We do like graphic design, production, like social media for sports teams and like corporate industries and stuff like that. So I've just been grinding. I currently live in Phoenix, so just having a good time in the warmth.
Bastard.
Shameless self-promo right there.
He was minus
Right,
20
almost.
today.
Wraparound Media. We just did work.
He's kind of a hustler or something like that, you know?
Like 30
So
seconds.
you know what? I wanna get you guys right into it. So in my opinion, I'll just start it off with that. In my opinion, Quinn Hughes has just been better than Makar by a lot since last year, especially
Ian.
this year. What are your thoughts on that, Ian?
You can talk about it first.
All right, Xavier. Let me tell you this. Just answer this question one word, okay? Who is the better player between McKinnon and McDavid?
McDavid?
Okay. Who's had the better last couple seasons, McKinnon or McDavid?
McDavid? That is
McKinnon.
not at all a
It's
fair
McKinnon.
comparison.
I'm using this to tell you that while Quinn Hughes might be having a better season, Makar's still the better player.
No, that's not a no. This is not a fair comparison because McDavid
Makar
has
is the better player.
the
Quinn Hughes
only
might be having a better
difference.
season,
The
but if
only
you look
difference
in
between
everything,
McDavid.
you'd rather have Cale Makar than Quinn Hughes.
Okay, I'll
Quinn
give
Hughes
you.
is second, 100%.
I understand the point you're trying to make. This is supposed to be an argument between JC and Ian, by the way. I'll give you. I understand what you're saying. Like, I take Makar's career over Quinn Hughes at this point, and I know he is like more skilled, and he has been like he has a way higher ceiling than Hughes. But I don't know, just like the stats are not in his favor, and I don't know.
And I will say that if Hughes wins the Norris this year, I won't complain.
Okay,
Like,
well,
there's
I
nothing
have,
to
I
complain
have,
about.
I have stuff to say to this because it isn't like it's only just been this year.
We were getting
For everyone
absolute-
listening, my poster just fucking fell down in a comic fashion.
We were getting so heated the walls started shaking or something. I don't know.
Okay, I'll just move over so the bang. It's not like it's just been this season that Quinn Hughes has been better because obviously, I mean, he won the Norris last year too. And the season before is like insanely underrated for Quinn Hughes. I mean, he finished second in points for defensemen. His defensive analytics went up from the year before when people were still, saying that he can't play defense. I think he had a great season there too, and Makar was injured that season, so it's kind of difficult to compare them that year. But I think that's kind of the year where Quinn Hughes started to climb the ranks a bit. He was definitely better last season, although Makar was up there, and this season he's definitely been better. I mean, you look at it a little deeper. Makar is not the best player on his team, and Quinn Hughes is, and it's hard to hold that against Makar. But Makar's analytics are just so much better when he's on the ice with McKinnon, and there's nobody on Vancouver that's even close to Quinn Hughes' skill level. Like, you got Pettersson, you have Miller, they're great players, not even close to Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes is not only my current favorite for the Norris, obviously, but I feel like he should be in the Hart conversation at this point. One stat that I found yesterday that is really funny. This is according to Money Puck. So I don't know. I know some people don't love Money Puck's analytics, but the Canucks have used 20 unique defensive pairs this season for at least 10 minutes. Quinn Hughes has been on 7 of them, 7 out of the 20. Those 7 defensive pairs are all in the top 8 of expected goal scoring percentage for Canucks pairings. He elevates everybody's game around him. He can even make Noah Juleson good. And I feel like that's just what sets him apart. I think Quinn Hughes, currently as it stands right now, is the best defenseman in the game. Makar got off to a better start, but we also have to remember that he's 1 year older, so it would have made sense that he started his career better. Quinn Hughes has just started to catch up, and I think that, like, you also add in the fact that he's a captain. He's leading this team in everything. I mean, Quinn Hughes is the best defenseman in the league, in my opinion.
I mean, there's a couple things to dissect there. In terms of Quinn Hughes being a captain, I think if the Avs were to do something with Landeskog to move his contract or whatever else, I think Makar would be the captain over McKinnon.
Really?
Yeah, I would think so. And I mean, that's just my unbiased opinion. I love Mac, but also, if you take a look at the stats, where in Makar's games played without Nathan McKinnon, according to StatMuse, which is like the greatest stat website ever created, you can look up like literally anything. Like, you want to know like player A's fucking bowel movement in game B.
True. They do have that.
Cale Makar has 40 points in 33 games without Nathan McKinnon. So I think it goes to show that even if Cale Makar wasn't on a team with any other superstar, he'd still be producing and he'd still be the player that he is.
True.
I agree. I think he's still 100%. Like, I mean, Quinn and Cale, we're fortunate to be having this debate because there's nobody else
I
in the
agree.
league that can have this debate with
We're
us.
both winners.
They're so far beyond everyone else, and you can really go either way on this debate.
Everyone else, including Evan Bouchard.
Okay,
Of
well,
course,
that goes
yeah.
without saying. You didn't have to rub it in. I understand.
And I mean, like Adam Fox, Roman Yossi, they're just in the tier below, but nobody can touch Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar. It's really beautiful, and I mean, like, it kind of sucks they're not from the same country, because imagine watching them on a defensive pairing at the Four Nations.
That would be insane.
Oh,
that would be ridiculous.
It would be beautiful.
Maybe if they were like 1 year older, we could have got Team NA.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, we're both lucky. I don't think there's much yelling to be had here because we're both gonna have our opinions, and we both have, like, I think they're both valid opinions to have based off the last couple.
No, fight.
Well, neither of us are Jared, so
hold on.
We're not here to antagonize.
No, I want to fight Ian on something. The only reason McKinnon has had more points than McDavid is because he plays like 3 minutes more, and he has to. He's kind of suffering from what McDavid had to do at the beginning of his career, where he was literally the only player they had as like a dog at center. So I don't know exactly how much. I'm pretty sure it's 2 minutes more. So if he's getting 10% more, and he's at worst a little bit, or at best a little bit under him offensively, he's still going to outscore him, which is what happens. Especially when the power play is kind of sucked, frankly. Even recently, it's been okay, but still, I don't know.
I really am a fan of the people who push the McKinnon over McDavid debate, because it always happens, and then McDavid goes on like this crazy run, and it's like, okay, well, it's not even really close
It's
at all.
just a pure, just I'm bored with McDavid being the best. That's honestly all it is.
Xavier, do you think that...
My heart tells me that McDavid is better than McKinnon. However, I definitely think that McKinnon is better at some aspects of the game. And I will say that such as just effort and taking care of your teammates. Like,
okay, actually, that's true.
I've never seen McDavid get as competitive as McKinnon. Like, there were some games. I remember there was a game a couple years ago. Yeah, you laugh. I remember there was a game a couple years ago. Kadri got kicked out of the faceoff dot. McKinnon about broke his stick on the glass, and I just saw those fans like throw themselves back, like they were almost scared. You look in practice, like McKinnon is basically the team's second coach. Like, you know, Bednar just needs to sit back and, you know, almost take care of the guys. Like McKinnon can do Bednar's job.
He's definitely a different. I think that's just a difference of a player, and I feel like the Avs have kind of built around the unique personality that McKinnon has. But absolutely, like, caring for teammates, I feel like McDavid's definitely a more closed guy, much more quiet. Although, I mean, we saw in the documentary he was yelling at the guys, so that's obviously not entirely true. But yeah, I can get behind that narrative.
Yeah, he's definitely better in some aspects. He's also a psycho, McKinnon. He's also just kind of a crazy person entirely.
I mean, you gotta be a psycho to be a genius.
I do respect it. I mean, there's a whole thing about like what was it? Him really loving pasta, and I think that was just a
Chickpeas.
The joke was that McKinnon. So I think it was an interview with Josh Manson, and or maybe it was either Manson or like maybe someone like Zadorov. I can't remember, but there was an interview, and he said that he was like stealing desserts from people's lockers, and like he switched from like carb pasta to like chickpea pasta, which is like more higher in protein. It's really not that bad. I actually tried it. But yeah, he just does what is good for his body.
He's a psycho, completely. Well, speaking of McKinnon, how do you feel about the Avalanche? How they've played just this year in general?
You know, it's hard to say because we've had such a switch up in the goalie rotation. The team would play their heart out, and I mean play their literal heart out, and we would lose games, 5-2, 6-2. That one in Tampa, we lost 8-2. I think that game in Tampa that we lost 8-2, it was a moment where something got said, and all next thing you know, Onninen's gone, Georgiev's gone. Like it just was such a major issue that needed to be fixed 29 games into the season rather than at the trade deadline when you're fighting for a wild card spot, if you're even in a wild card spot, and you've got 13 games, to go 9-4 and make the playoffs. So it's good that we did it earlier.
True. I mean, personally for the Avs, they just from an outside look, I don't know if you've seen this, they were giving up a lot of really good chances, although they also had the worst goalies in the league. It was very similar to what the Oilers were going through, but they kind of got through it because I guess they didn't have a Georgiev on their team, even if Stuart Skinner was just as bad early on in the season. Although as a Georgiev fantasy owner, I can't say I'm too happy about him going to the Sharks.
I traded him to you.
Yeah. So. How's Ingram doing, buddy?
He's on IR. He's been on IR since I got him.
And I'm pretty sure he still has more points than Georgiev.
That's insane.
While we're on the topic of Georgiev, I wanna spin it to Blackwood because Xavier, I mean, there was an episode where you were on your hands and knees absolutely begging for Blackwood to be an Edmonton Oiler, and you're like, oh, it's definitely happening. That's definitely happening. So I want to ask you, how do you feel about the fact that you were so wrong once again?
All right. That was the one episode where I had finally given up on Stuart Skinner, and now he's fine again. Now he's fine. So I don't think it really matters that we didn't get him. Honestly, I flip-flop on it a lot, but I think I'm fine with the Oilers goaltending, especially for the price. I mean, I wouldn't have given up Stuart Skinner and a second if we're assuming that's what the price would have been. Probably wouldn't have done that. It's a bit of a risk. I like the trade for the Avs, though, honestly. It works.
I think it's a win-win. I feel like it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Like, San Jose has no need for Blackwood. They have, what's his face in the system? Askarov. They have Askarov in the system. I mean, Blackwood's not going to be a part of the team when, actually good. And they got Kovalenko, who's good.
That's the biggest piece of the trade is Kovalenko. I mean, I've been following this guy since 2018 when he got drafted. He was a 6th-round pick, but everyone knew he was going to Russia. And I mean, anytime a player goes to Europe to play in a league like the KHL, you kind of have that sense of hope that they're just going to grow and develop over the next 5 years. And next thing you know, Kovalenko is like 3rd in points per game in the KHL. Comes over. Everyone was so excited. We got about 30 games with him before he's traded. So it was like 6 years of making posts and content and like just like late night thinking like Kovalenko is going to score 90 points.
Damn.
This year, gets traded. And then the first game he's traded, he gets 3 points.
Yeah.
Right now, can you just like, can you turn on your acting persona and give us a recreation of how you reacted when you found out that Kovalenko was part of the deal?
All right. So this is a 2-parter. The first part was actually 3 parts. The first part was seeing Blackwood got traded, and that was like a and then you see Georgiev gets traded. You see Georgiev gets traded, and you say, yeah, and then you see Kovalenko gets traded, and it's And like in that sense, it was a really mentally tough trade. But it worked out. I saw Blackwood play. I was at the game against Nashville the other night. The dude was rock solid.
He
If
was
not
amazing.
for a Keaton Middleton defensive breakdown, he probably could have gotten the shutout. So
Our audio listeners have no idea what just happened because they just heard the sound of Mike peaking.
Yeah. No, that was. Oh.
That was brilliant. I feel like the mic peaking really displays the emotion, though.
oh, really? Loud is funny.
That's
Exactly,
true.
that's how it works.
Our
Exactly.
listeners can attest to that. Loud is funny. So
Yeah, I think it's great for both teams. I think Mike Greer's doing a good job as Sharks GM so far. I mean, he's made some questionable moves, obviously.
Ceci.
Like Cody Ceci, yeah.
thanks for Emberson.
But I think they have some good direction, and obviously I'm
They're
big
definitely
on
going
the
somewhere.
future.
They might
Yeah,
even
I
get
like
something
it.
for Georgiev later too.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. If they can make him seem like if he can get his save percentage to like 900, 905 on the Sharks somehow, they can definitely flip him at the deadline.
If he can do
Probably
that
not
on the
for much,
Sharks
but-
and not the Avs, that's a very, very bad.
Yeah.
That's not looking good for them.
They only traded like a sixth to get Blackwood, and then they flipped Blackwood for Kovalenko, and it was a second, right?
Yeah,
It was-
those bad teams just get afforded the opportunity to make some absolutely egregious trades, and nobody cares.
Incredible asset management.
I mean, Georgiev, like, he was so good that first year that he was here. He was kind of in the middle last season. I think he got like 40 wins last season again. But in the playoffs, he was spectacular. This year, it was like from the get-go, you could just tell that something was wrong. And I don't know if it's like the goalie coaching or if it's, players getting in their own head. I mean, goalies are head cases. But there was just something going on that needed to be wiped.
I mean, I feel like he's always been prone to those just like 9-goal games out of nowhere, and then you look at his stat line and he's fine. But now it just kind of, I guess it caught up with him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely called Forgiev last season too, but this season, just a different animal in the
Giev.
worst way.
An animal of Forgiev, yeah.
JC, what do you think about the Canucks?
Oh God, oh man, they just cannot play at home. Oh my God. Okay, so Demko's played 2 games now, and it was the game on Tuesday against St. Louis and the game on Saturday night against Boston. The game against St. Louis, he faced 4 breakaways. His first game back in like 250 days, and they make him face 4 breakaways. What the fuck? It was like the defense was just not there. He was making good saves. I feel like he had a negative goal saved above expected in both games, but I don't think that tells the whole story because he was just not given any chance to really like bring it back at all. The team just looks so bad in front of him. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if they lack confidence in front of him. I don't know if they think they don't need to play because Demko's back, but they look so bad. And I mean, they're lucky to have won the game against Columbus because they got outshot 32-17.
That was insane.
Or no, we beat St. Louis. They lost. Actually, my timelines are all mixed up. What happened and when? Florida, that was a good game. Florida was a good game. They played solid. Lankinen got a shutout. Won 4-0. That was a great game, and then they just followed up with the worst effort ever. And we still got outplayed in that Florida game too, which is kind of funny. Like it felt like a good game, but Florida had more chances, and they just can't play on home ice. I don't know what it is. They got booed off. They got booed off the ice.
They got booed?
They got booed last
they
night.
got booed.
They lost 5-1. They got like 3 scoring chances all game. They left Demko out to dry. I don't like when the fan base is toxic. But so a message has to be sent at some point that people are paying so much for these tickets because Aquilini is greedy and they're getting no results out of them. Like you're just robbing people of their money to put on the worst display of hockey ever. People paid that much money on a Saturday night to watch them lose 5-1 to the Bruins and not even do anything. Like Max Sasson got his first NHL goal. There was some positive out of it. Lindholm didn't score, Zadorov didn't score, but it was brutal. They look so bad. And we're playing the Avs tomorrow, which is why Ian's on this podcast right now, because we can kind of preview it a bit. They lost all 3 games to the Avalanche last year, and they can't win at home, and now the Avs have a new goalie boost. So I am not really excited for it. I'm excited to get on the road again. It's Last night's game, actually, I would have had a complete freak out on my story if it weren't for the fact that Sasson scored, and I didn't want to take away from it.
I don't even know where the Canucks are right now. It seemed like they were going up, but now it's like,
yeah. So they were going up. They were going up when they were on the road, and then they got home, and now they're going down. It's funny how that works, right? They're 10-2-1 on the road,
but not just like.
You think it's because you have to put in a lot more mental effort to block out the noise when you're on the road. That when you're at home, you feel like you can kind of relax a little bit more. Takes away from your game.
I don't even know. It could just be coincidence too. They were one of the best home teams in the league all last season, so it makes no sense. I don't know what the problem could be. It could just be coincidence, or maybe they just feel like they're jinxed. I don't know. Ian, how do you feel about the game tomorrow?
Honestly, it's just another game on the schedule.
But it's Hughes Makar.
Blackwood shutout.
Maybe.
No, I think it's an important game. I mean, Canucks and Avs, we sit at. Are we the two wild cards right now?
Yeah, we are.
It's an important game. I mean, early in the season, it's always when you get to game 80, game 81, and game 82 where you look back at game 20 and you're like, dang, wish we could have won that one. And I think that the Avs and the Canucks are in a spot where if the trend continues, it will be wild cards that we're fighting for and not, that second, third spot in the division, even first, where we could easily be if we were normal, I guess. No, I like the Canucks. They have good talent. They'll be fine.
Hopefully.
I think. Did I read correctly that McKinnon has been really good this year?
McKinnon's insane. It's actually absurd. And so he has a 912 save percentage. He's tied for the league lead in shutouts with 3, which actually doubles his career shutouts. His goal save above expected is I think he's 20th or something. His road record is 10-0-1. He has all of our wins this season because Shelovs didn't get a win, and Demko hasn't won either of his 2 games. He's been amazing.
That's insane,
I had someone in my comment section yesterday tell me that the defense has bailed out Kevin Lankinen more times than Kevin Lankinen has bailed out the defense. It's actually insane. And they use that as a way to defend Noah Juleson.
Ooh.
Goodness.
And any Noah Juleson defenders out there?
I don't get it. He's just such a 7th defenseman.
Because I don't think there's a single one.
Do you guys want to know what line...
We've all moved on to geek bars. We're done with the...
Do you guys want to know what line Max Sasson is going to be on?
First.
The line he's with DeBrusk and Pettersson.
Oh, that's the first line, right?
It would be first, second. It's kind of interchangeable between those. He was on...
Where did you get him?
We signed him out of college, I believe. He's been in Abbott's for the past couple seasons.
Okay.
He's 24. He's been good while he's been up, but it's kind of funny how at the start of the season he went from an AHLer, a career AHLer probably, to now he's on our first line. And he played he replaced Höglander on the Miller-Besser line yesterday. That's where he got his first goal.
Okay.
So he's been one of our best players the past couple of games.
When are they going to move Höglander?
I don't know. I hope they don't. But Tocchet's not giving him any chances. He played well in the first period, and he got kicked off the Miller-Besser line. He was our best player in the first period.
It feels inevitable for me, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. But I hope not.
All right.
I need him to get one more goal.
For the Oilers, I mean, it's just same old. Although I will say they played their 2 best games of the year against 2 of the top teams in the league, Vegas and Minnesota. Frankly, as just straight PDO regression, we knew they were this good. We knew only if you were a serious Oilers hater could you expect them to not do this. This is just McDavid blows by everyone. Although something is different this year with Draisaitl. Something is very different with this year. I don't know if he's been better than McDavid. Probably my expectations for McDavid kind of cloud that because he's always just the best player in the league, and it's kind of more exciting if someone is. But Draisaitl has been so ridiculously good. He has been better offensively than he's ever been, and he's actually good defensively. Not just occasionally getting a really good stick check in there or actually back checking. He is genuinely a genius with the stick. on defense. I don't understand it. I don't know where this was, but he's playing just different. I think this might be probably his best year ever, frankly.
He was terrifying in the playoff series. I hated whenever he had the puck, and then Myers killed him, so didn't last too long. But...
he really despises every single Canadian team. I think if you look at the stats against every Canadian team, he might be, except for the Senators, he is better than McDavid in all those categories. It's
at least
crazy.
He doesn't hate us as much as he hates Nashville for some reason.
True. He's got something against that town. I don't know what they did to him, but
I don't know.
Like the Oilers, just their defense. I wouldn't say on paper their defense sucks, unless you assume Bouchard is like awful. Oh, and he's dark. There you are. Podcast listeners don't know what just happened, but he just went dark on us. So, like Ty Emberson, I expected about where he's at right now. Kind of an elite defensive force. Can't really do too much with the puck. But him and Kulak make up probably one of the best, I'd say the best third pair in the league. Just in terms of what they're being paid. Like that pairing together is paid like $3 million, and they have some of the best defensive stats in the league, albeit against obviously bottom six competition. That's why it's a bottom pair. But damn, they're good. And Ekholm and Bouchard are both coming around too.
Xavier Evans thinks that Ty Emberson is elite. Quote it.
He is an elite defensive force against bottom pairing competition.
Oh, so
that's
not elite is what you're saying?
No. Like, I don't think he could play in the top four of most teams.
I am elite at beating 4-year-olds in basketball.
Okay, but you're
literally no difference.
Okay, but your bottom pair can seriously kill you. Although he does occasionally go up against like top 6 talent, and he does fine. So that's obviously a good sign. But
does the RAPM chart have blue in it?
It does. I'm pretty sure it's very good.
Yeah. Oh wow, look at that. Okay.
I mean, that's all that matters, right?
That's all that matters is blue.
Yeah, defense is definitely a problem for us right now. I mean, Noah Juleson is going to be on the first pairing tomorrow. But like it's fine. It really actually doesn't matter who's on the first pairing because Quinn's just going to carry anyway.
Yeah.
Susie Myers has been good defensively. They're the second pairing for tomorrow, and that's fine. Bottom pairing worries me. But like Forbert was good in the game against Florida.
I bet you'd like a Kulak and Emberson right now. I want to tell you that.
Probably, yeah. Forbert Friedman is going to be that bottom pair.
What's happening with Desharnais, by the way?
Oh, well, he just sucks. They want to trade him. They definitely just want to trade him.
That was the most inevitable bad contract ever.
The question is, what's happening with Eric Brandstrom? Because why is he not playing?
Okay.
He's good.
Brandstrom. We traded him to you
guys. Thank you. Thanks for that one. Right. Thanks for taking Tucker Pullman's contract.
Okay. I don't know exactly how all the LTIR cap space stuff works, but my thought is that you guys gave us Tucker Pullman, who's on what, LTIR, right?
Yeah.
And that's actually an asset to us because it gives us more cap space to use. So while we did give you Eric Brandstrom, who I think has been a really good player, and I would have loved to see him on the Avs. I mean, we've already got kind of the same exact player in Malinsky, but it gives us that LTIR space to use and more cap space. And there's probably some loophole in the CBA, all the stuff, whatever. Avs are crazy with the cap space. I mean, every other tweet was, we have sent Ivan and Nikolai Kovalenko to the AHL. We have recalled Ivan and Nikolai Kovalenko to the NHL. Literally every other day, just accruing cap space.
That is what the Canucks have been doing with Sasson and Ratu and someone else that I can't remember. But it's kind of funny. It's like
they have to announce it too.
Such a loophole.
It seem legit.
Yeah, they also have to report, but I don't think anybody checks if they do report or not, so they probably don't. But I can just imagine them every single day having to go down the road to report to the AHL and just going straight back.
Hey, I'm here, guys. Nope, I'm gone.
But yeah, I like that trade. I like Brandstrom a lot, and I feel like we should be using him because Quinn Hughes is the only one who knows how to move the puck. Myers is decent at it. I don't mind Myers moving the puck. Susie can't move the puck. Juleson can't move the puck. Friedman can't move the puck. Forbert can't move the puck. Why are we not playing Brandstrom, especially with Hronek out? If Hronek were back, I could probably see, Brandstrom being scratched every so often, but Brandstrom should be on the bottom pair right now. He had a tough game yesterday, I think, but it's not like it was fully his fault. I think Friedman was worse, and Friedman's getting into the lineup more. It just doesn't make sense to me.
True. I mean,
I think all of us have pretty bad defensive issues at the moment.
Yeah,
I think that's something we can all
not the
agree on.
Oilers.
I think Xavier disagrees.
The Oilers are
I think
currently
really?
4th in shots against and expected. I think they're 5th in expected goals against, and I think
Don't get
they're
me wrong, I don't know
by
much about
far
the Oilers,
first
so.
in high danger chances against. Well, I mean, last, if you call it that way.
Yeah.
And Bouchard is first in atrocious giveaways in his defense.
No, he's not. I'll
No,
fight you
he's
on
not.
that. I'll fight you on that one. I'll fight you on that one.
No,
He has not made an atrocious giveaway since that Toronto game. I'll tell you that right now. People will bring that up over and over and over again, but it happened one time, and since then, hasn't happened. Clearly not a consistent part of his game.
Of one.
Okay, he had like 3 that game, frankly, but
what was that?
like it's fine. It's fine. It was one game, and besides that, he played pretty good that week. So I don't know. I can't complain.
I can complain. He's not doing enough for me in fantasy, to be honest. I'm also
True.
on a 4-game losing streak now.
He's a 70-point bum now.
Don't even
Yeah.
talk about fantasy. I'm last in the entire league.
No way. Wait, are you doing that bad?
Yeah,
What's wrong with your roster?
I'm that bad. My
What do you-
entire team was injured for like 6 weeks.
Oh
I went
yeah,
0-6.
I did
And then the
trade
last
him
2
Ingram.
weeks- The last 2 weeks, I'm about to lose to Breakers by 4 points,
Oh,
and then
that's
last
tough.
week I lost by just a couple points as well. I'm gonna
Okay.
be 2-8.
I have my own complaints that I've been mentioning in the chat. There are 4 teams in our 20-man league that have over 1,500 points against. I have 1,660. I'm first by a mile. Well, not
Skill
by
issue.
a mile. Rory's kind of close.
Play some defense.
I can't do anything. Like, how am I supposed to win when I have the most points against? You look at Breakers. Shout out NHL Breakers on Instagram. You all know him. He has fucking 1,250 points against. I have like 400 more points against than him.
That is insane.
I'm so mad. He has plot armor, I swear. Yeah, he has plot armor.
Plot armor.
He has plot armor in our fantasy league. And the plot fucking hates me for some reason. I don't know what I did.
Although
I'm
he
just
did take every single Oiler that's underperforming this year. He had Arvidsson,
Yeah.
Skinner, Nuge, Draisaitl. Well, actually, Draisaitl's doing good, but you know.
I'm just a goofy little guy who's relying on Mikhail Granlund and Dylan Strome. Give me some fan. Oh, but
Can
I
you
did
imagine
get
if you didn't
Gensel,
have
and
those guys either?
People were. I can't believe people thought that I was like wiped in that Gensel trade. I thought that I was happy with it, and I'm still happy with it because Gensel has a 6-game goal streak going.
What was the trade?
I received Jake Gensel and Dylan Larkin, and I gave away Connor Bedard and Sebastian Aho. I think it was fair. Gensel is by far the best player in
Wait,
that.
that
trade.
didn't get vetoed?
Yeah, I
No,
think
why
you
would
got
that get
wiped.
vetoed?
I
That's
think you got
crazy. I
wiped.
feel like every single trade gets vetoed in our league
Yeah, true.
Well,
I hate that.
because of a certain someone.
It's all because of someone who keeps sending really bad trades. But between me and the guy I traded with, like neither of us are here to bomb the league. I think it was a fine trade. Also, Rory thought it was.
Neither of you guys are going to make the playoffs anyways, so it doesn't matter.
No, Andrew might.
Maybe. Well, it's 12 team, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We oh man, we're running out of time. We will move on to the Q&A portion of this. I think I got some interesting questions here and one Christmas question at the end here, which we're going to Don't dab. What's wrong with you?
I didn't dab. I was.
You dab!
I held my
totally a
microphone
dab.
away so that I wouldn't be screaming into it, and I did this.
Oh,
I didn't
no.
mean to dab. It was not an intentional dab.
Whatever,
That
man.
was a dab.
I'm sure you didn't mean to
Intentional
do
or
that.
not, that was a dab.
It
Yeah.
was a dab. I didn't mean to.
You hit it though.
I did. I don't know why he's hating.
Stop. Okay. Question 1, and I forgot to take the names again. Sorry, guys. You guys are just going to be irrelevant here.
I'll do it next week.
Very important. One topic that we didn't touch on in the main part of the pod. What do the Sabres even do? Like,
Nothing.
you just hired a new coach who was supposed to fix everything. You've traded a bunch of guys away. Your young players aren't doing anything. Your top draft picks aren't doing anything. You have draft picks. You have players. But it's just kind of mid. Tage Thompson was injured. 10
Darlene's injured.
games, 10 losses in a row.
Well, I think another part of that question.
10 in a row.
They've lost 10 in a row, yeah.
Yep.
I think another part of that question was, does God hate them? And I think the answer is yes. But the problem lies primarily in Terry Pegula, who's, they have an internal cap hit, and it didn't allow them to get another really good guy in free agency. Like, they needed another top 6 forward in free agency, and because they can only spend so much money compared to the rest of the teams, they didn't get it.
I did research on this. With everyone's best friend, ChatGPT.
Okay.
The ChatGPT says poor management decisions. Check.
Yep.
Lack of leadership.
True.
Check.
Yeah, Darlene's kind of fun.
Goaltending issues.
He's a coke addict. Not
Check.
really. Not really, actually.
Oh, not really.
Pekka Luukkonen's all right.
Is it Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen?
Yeah, he's
but
good.
they're backups. They don't have a good backup because
Yeah.
Levi sucks and Reimer sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Losing culture.
Okay, that's
Well, I
actually
don't-
completely fair. That's completely
I don't
fair.
know if Buffalo had culture in the first place, but yeah, same idea.
All right. The how do you pronounce it? Pegula? Pegula?
Pegula.
Pegasus. The Pegasus family ownership has faced criticism for its heavy-handed involvement in hockey decisions.
ChatGPT
Yeah, no.
got it right. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, no.
Maybe I can
they
trust
are
it with
right,
my term paper
Why
now.
hope isn't lost. Signs of progress under head coach Don Granato.
I'm not sure about that
Does he know?
Probably be moving in the right direction. However, patience is key, taking up to 5 to 10 years to build a competitive team in the NHL.
They've taken 15! They've taken 15 fucking years! They're not even making the playoffs!
No, dude, you gotta just wait 5 to 10. Just another 5 to 10 years,
Just
dude.
another 5 to 10.
Just wait,
Okay.
dude. 5 to 10.
Like, also, what is up with Dylan Cousins? He was so good 2 seasons ago. He signed that massive, 7 years, $7 million. Last season, he got, just under 50 points. This season, he's nothing. He just signed a contract and then decided, okay, I don't want to play anymore.
I completely forgot he signed for that much. I was making trade proposals for him, and I didn't realize he was paid like a 1C.
He
what
was
is the contract?
It's,
Oh, yeah,
I think it's 7.77 times 7.
It is in the 7 millions for 7 years. Yeah, it ends when he's 28, I think.
But he's actually coming around this year, and
7.1.
he is 7.1. He is good, but there's no
is
argument
he-
to say he's been worth 7. Definitely not
Yes.
7.
He has 13 points in 30 games.
He's coming around.
In 2022-23, he had 68 and 81.
he's
and now
coming
he has
around.
13 and 30.
He's actually
coming
pretty
around.
good for fantasy. He's got pretty good per Fs.
I don't know if Buffalo fans are gonna care that he's good for fantasy.
He's good.
when
He's
he
good
has
by my
13
count.
points.
He's good by my count. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
should trade your entire farm for him.
I feel like Cousins is the least of their issues. Are they not? Did they lose 10 in a row because Cousins has 5
No.
or 10 less points than he should?
I just want to point it out because, how is he this bad?
That's just
happened?
one part. That's a good point. That's just
No,
one
they-
part of their team
Yeah.
just being absolutely awful.
Yeah, no, they're missing. They have many holes, obviously, and I don't know about Lindy Ruff. I don't think he's the
Yeah.
greatest coach ever.
They didn't
But-
like him in Jersey.
Yeah, they might just miss playoffs for the next 30 years.
Probably. 5 to 10. Just wait, Sabres fans.
5 to 10.
2033 is your year.
Just watch some football until then.
Yeah.
Maybe you can have some competitive games that way.
I was Paterka even doing this year. I don't think he's. I think
He's doing all
fallen
right. He's
off
just been
the
injured.
Because their second line is Paterka,
But-
Cousins, and
That's what frustrates me about the Sabres. They continuously pump out decent young players, just not stars and not people that really move the needle. They just have a bunch of really solid, middle six young players, and they do not move the needle. And I just, it something about it has to be about culture. It goes beyond just having the right players, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a goalie. They have a defense.
You look at them missing playoffs for 14 years in a row, and even if they didn't have that internal cap hit, who's going to want to go to Buffalo?
Yep.
Because they are not a culture of winning at all. They're the most pathetic franchise in the league over the last decade and a half, and I mean, I don't know if it's gonna get any better anytime soon. It is tough.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what you do.
I guess you just
The question
wait.
was, what do the Sabres do? I don't know.
You wait until Boston and Toronto and Tampa Bay are all rebuilding, and then just hope that you squeak in then.
Okay, you know what? Here's what you do. You have to luck. It all went wrong for them when they didn't get McDavid. All you have to do is luck into a bunch of lottery draws. That's literally their only hope. And then you hope that that number one pick is like a Eichel or McDavid level player.
But where
Or
they're
even
at right
like,
now,
find like their own version of like Nichushkin or something like that. Like,
Yeah, they
Just-
never find the players in those just guys out of nowhere.
like at this point, they're just mid, so they're not going to get a good draft pick.
Yeah, they're not
They're
even
kind of
they're not even
lost.
awful.
No, they aren't. Even after losing 10 games in a row, they're still a good amount of teams below them, and they're probably going to pass some teams, but they're not going to make the playoffs. So they're stuck where the Wild were for so long, just being mid and
Yeah.
not being able to get a good enough draft pick to get better.
That sucks.
But the Wild figured it out, so maybe one of these
I
years
think
Buffalo's going to
figured
go
it out.
crazy.
They lucked into a cap resolve. That's exactly what happened, and that's what the Sabres need. That's the only way out of it. You need to just suddenly get a star player out of nowhere.
Research.
That's what happened to the
Washington
Oilers.
players.
That's exactly what
Yeah,
happened
they-
to the Oilers.
They just got to go really heavy on the Russian player scouting, take one in the 5th round, and just hope that he ends up being
Yeah,
a,
and just
heart,
pray.
a heart favorite. That's
a good
exactly it. That's
strategy.
exactly how you run a hockey team. You know, you should be the
Exactly.
one in charge of the Sabres.
Thank you. Thank you. So, question 2. If the playoffs, looking at just the West right now, if the playoffs were to start right now, who scares you the most in the West? And we can't say our teams.
It's really tough because I feel like every single team there is beatable, but I think, like, I mean, of all of them, even though they've had some difficulties, I still think it's Dallas because I think at full strength they're really well rounded, and if
Yeah.
Ottinger can play up to Ottinger's potential, they have that playoff experience too. I mean, I talk about it all the time. Like, you need to fail sometimes to get in there. They've lost in the Cup Finals in 2020. They lost in the Western Conference Finals last year. They have the playoff experience. They know how to win series. I still think that they're probably the team to beat. Because even though Minnesota's been better, Minnesota, they aren't.
And the
good in
Jets are
playoffs.
frauds, let's be honest.
And
no,
the
Dallas
Jets are on the
definitely,
decline.
Dallas definitely scares me a lot. Like, I'm not worried about Winnipeg or Minnesota. Winnipeg last year, they were a literal cakewalk. Like, I mean, they were above us in the standings, and I mean, it was almost ridiculous how easy we just walked on them.
That was a
But
great
you
series.
get to Dallas, and you know, next thing you know, Nichushkin's in, you know, player, what's
Player
it called?
safety.
Player safety, whatever. And you lose that series. I'm worried about Dallas. I mean, Vegas scares me too because I guess Vegas is just Vegas. I'm not worried about Minnesota or Winnipeg. Minnesota's gonna choke it. They always choke it. They might make it to the second round, but they're gonna have to get past Dallas to get to the second round. So
I'm not sure if this is just because I think the Oilers can beat them, but I think Minnesota's coming out of the Central. I don't know, it's not that I think they're the best team. I would still say Dallas is the best team by a good margin on Minnesota. I just have a feeling they're going to make it out for some reason. I don't know. If they get the
I think-
goaltending, they can do it.
I think there's a good chance that we could see a Canucks Wild first round playoff series because I think the Wild could definitely win the Central at this
Ooh.
point. I think a
That
Canucks
that
Wild
would be
playoff series would be
sick.
that
really
would be
good.
a weird playoff series, but I'd watch it.
It would be good. It would be a rematch of 2020 in the
2020,
bubble in the play-in series where we beat them. And I mean, obviously, like they'd be the top seed, and if we were to play each other in the playoffs. But I think that like that would be a good series, and I think we would be able to. I think we'd be able to win it. Imagine an Oilers Canucks Western Conference final.
Please,
Wow.
please, please,
This
I need it.
podcast would be crazy.
I need that.
We've
Oh
already
my
seen what
goodness.
happens when the Avs play the Oilers in the conference final.
That
So
is true.
I'd like seeing.
It was a completely different team on both sides. The Oilers would okay, no argument. The Oilers on paper absolutely walk the Avs.
We swept you.
Okay,
We
had
swept
Zach
you.
Cassian
Arturi
on the
Lehkonen
first line, and he
sent
scored,
you
by the way.
home.
Also, okay, we're bringing this back. Game 3 and Game 4 easily could have gone the other way. That was barely a sweep. It was a sweep, but it was a really
Barely
close
a sweep.
Barely
Okay,
a
no,
sweep?
barely a sweep is so stupid. I'll give you it for the fucking Winnipeg series a couple years ago.
Okay,
I'm
but
not
that was
gonna
4
give
straight
barely a
overtime
sweep.
games.
Colorado was very clearly the better team in that Edmonton.
Well,
series.
no, Colorado was easily the better team. I'm not going to argue that, but Oilers could have won Game 1, 3, and 4. Like those were like 45-55 games. They just didn't win them.
And the Canucks could have won Game 7 against Edmonton, but you don't want to hear that, do you?
Well, I'm not sitting here arguing that like the Canucks had no chance in that series. Like it was objectively like a 50-50 series. And the Game
Well, then we're
7
agreed.
reflected that, right?
Then we're in agreement.
No, I would love to see Canucks Oilers. I truly would.
It would be crazy.
It would
especially,
once again
if
be the
we were
best
healthy.
series in the playoffs.
Yeah,
It's so good.
No, it would. I'm really glad that we at least put up a good effort against you guys, even if we were injured, because like we gave you a better challenge than LA did in any of the previous 3
Yeah.
seasons. Pardon?
They like literally they play like their general population. Like it's literally insane.
What do you mean by that?
Homeless.
Homeless. Okay. Speaking of that, I almost wanted to say, just like last year, that I think the team that scares me the most is the Kings. But I mean, I just can't say it with a straight face anymore because I said that last year, and it's not based on how they play, if they're good, if their like goaltending is good, if their defense is good. That seems to never matter. Do you know how good Talbot was last year and how amazing their defense was? And then it came to the playoffs and they got torched. Every game wasn't even close. So
yeah, the weird thing.
I don't
know. I think the weird thing was the penalty kill because they were first or second in the league in the regular season on penalty kill, and the Oilers just dismantled them when they had the man advantage.
Even in the regular season too, it's as if they were designing the power play specifically to match up against the Kings.
Yeah,
which is
it worked out.
just devious. But this year, I mean, I haven't watched a single. I've watched one Kings game, and they don't look any different, despite their good record. They actually had a better record at this point last year. So we'll see how it happens. I kind of assumed they would drop out of the playoffs, but
My sister's FaceTiming. Should I get her a word on the podcast?
yeah, get her in.
Is that Holly?
Oh, the call ended. Hang on, let me call her back, and we'll get her take on this. I'll ask her who scared. No, wait. What's our last question?
Oh, actually, hold on. I didn't even say who would actually scare me in the playoffs.
Oh.
Who would
Okay,
scare
wait,
me in the
hang on.
playoffs?
She's answered. Holly, I'm on the podcast right now. Can you tell me who scares you the most in the Western Conference? That definitely did not go through, did it?
Yeah, we didn't hear it.
Okay, well, she said your mom. So, I don't know if that's an answer. Okay, bye.
Okay, you're gonna think I'm crazy, and I know they're not in the playoffs, but the Flames. I just have a funny feeling the Oilers are going to draw them first round and get smashed. I just have a feeling.
Technically, if you go by points percentage, they're above the Avs to make the playoffs.
They are?
Yeah.
I was checking if they were above the Canucks, and I must have been wrong. Oh, you're right.
It's kind of weird. The Avs are above the Canucks, but if the Flames were to make it, they would make it over the Avs, but behind the Canucks.
We've played like no games. We have a lot of games in hand, which is
Yeah.
nice. But yeah, no, we're
But
still at 600 on
the Flames are a genuinely all right wild card team. I mean, you can't say they're good, but they're definitely a 17 to 20 20th place team for sure.
I don't know. It hinges on how long Dustin Wolf can be this good. I mean, Vladar got lit up a couple nights ago, so I mean, it might just fold. I don't see
Kadri seems intent on scoring the exact same takeaway goal over and over again, and it's honestly great for my fantasy team. JC, you have muted yourself.
Hello?
Oh, there you go.
I don't know what happened there. It went to a different input device. You know what scares me? is Utah, because I like the way the Canucks are playing on home ice. Utah could easily steal our playoff spot. I think Utah's way more worrying than Calgary is. Utah's been good recently too.
Yeah, Utah beat us at home.
Utah
Yeah,
is a
it-
little underrated, I gotta say.
It's concerning me. Money Puck has their playoff odds like 15% higher than the Canucks.
Wow.
It does
Jeez.
not like us.
I don't
It does
know.
not like the way we do our offense.
All right, and for the final question, very important Christmas question, very heated political debate on this. Opinions on fruitcake and eggnog. JC, you want to go first?
Yeah, so I've had fruitcake once. It was the worst thing I've ever had.
You got to
in my
give it a
life, I think.
chance.
Sorry?
You got to give it a chance.
I gave it a chance and it sucked.
You didn't like fruitcake?
I hated fruitcake.
That is such a sweaty take.
True.
What is sweaty about that?
Based.
You need some of this, bro. Like,
I have, you just
hand
had that on hand.
it
Were you waiting?
All right.
Were you waiting all podcast to do that bit?
Yeah, I had it under here, just like keeping myself like.
He has it like a Febreze, like one of those plug-in Febreze things for his body. Oh my goodness.
Eggnog's great though. It's just Christmas milk.
You are so wrong on everything. You are always wrong.
You don't
Okay.
like eggnog?
Eggnog sucks. Eggnog tastes exactly like those cinnamon hot tamale things, like the candy. Like it tastes like that, where it's just like, why would you do you hate yourself when you drink this? I don't understand.
Yeah,
Fruitcake.
fruitcake is okay. It's okay. Eggnog is okay. I'm so in the middle with either.
We got a real centrist Andy over here. Like,
What an
come on.
exciting take for Ian.
Andy. All right. No, if I was given a cup of eggnog, I'd probably take 2 sips, be like, "Yeah, it's great," and then throw it away.
So you do
all
hate it.
different
It's not
types
okay.
here.
You don't like it.
Well, no. The last time I had eggnog, okay, I used to be in like youth group, like at my parents' church, bro. I was maybe like 10 or 11. They had me chug eggnog.
Ugh.
Dude,
Why?
when I tell you I was pooping like a bird, alright? Disgusting.
Oh yeah. Before we end the pod, I had to. Well, I was gonna give the story on this, and then it fucking fell off the wall. But it's kind of a fun story. It's a Red Wings poster for everybody just listening. That I got. I was in grade 3, and they had this like program at my school where if you were a good student for a month, you could get a prize, and I got selected for that month. I went down.
You
All
were
of them
a
were
good boy.
bad. Pardon?
You're a good boy.
I was a good boy, yeah. I went down, I got that poster, I brought it home. I wasn't a Red Wings fan or anything, but I wanted a hockey poster. The next day I punched a dude in the face.
What?
The next day I punched a dude in the face.
What did he do to you?
You're a real brat.
He tripped me in soccer. So a day after getting a prize for being a good student, I got sent to the principal's office.
They were like, "Oh, we messed up."
Yeah, but it was too late to strip me of the poster, and 13 years later, it's still in my possession.
Fruitcake is objectively really good. And
Why you went
eggnog-
back to the topic of fruitcake as if anybody
just-
cares?
Everybody cares about fruit. Fruitcake is actually very good. Eggnog is actually very bad. There's no argument there.
It's amazing. It's so thick. Oh, the thickness going down my gullet. Oh,
You do not like. You're making it up. You don't like eggnog. You're
I
lying.
love eggnog. I love eggnog.
No.
I'm a big enjoyer of eggnog. I wish that it were on sale all throughout the year. I would use it.
disgusting.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna use it in my macaroni.
And that's
Instead
where
of
we're going to
milk.
end it, folks. Macaroni and eggnog. Clearly, this guy has lost his mind. Well, thank you
You
for listening to the
macaroni.
10th episode of Pacific Perspectives. We'll see you all next week.
Wait, Ian, do you have anything you want to say? Any closing remarks?
Any closing remarks? I want to say that Mackenzie
Thank you
Blackwood,
for listening.
Mackenzie Blackwood is going to win the Vezina Trophy, and Ivan is a top 3 Avs prospect.
Well,
He's
I
going to
don't.
score 50 points next year.
All right, end the podcast. End the podcast.